Hi, it's Alistair Creelman here, and I thought I'd give you a few tips, a sort of personal angle about Creative Commons, about finding photos mostly, but even music and other resources with Creative Commons licenses, using them on your own websites or in your PowerPoint presentations or whatever, and giving the right attribution and how to show where you've got the photo or the piece of music or the sound effect and doing it in the correct way. Okay, general information about Creative Commons, go to creativecommons.org. That's the sort of international site where you have all the information about the licenses, and there's enormous amounts of resources here. If you speak Swedish, then of course there is Creative Commons Sverige, and here everything is in Swedish. And there's lots and lots of resources here about licensing your work, about the different licenses, some guides, some films. There's a nice little introduction film up here. So take time to have a look around. However, we're going to look for photographs now. So the best place to look for media with Creative Commons licenses is CC Search. As you can see, they're working on a replacement, a better one, so we're looking forward to seeing what happens. But at the moment, this is what it looks like. So on CC Search, here you can enter your search query, and although you do get quite more and more hits if you search in Swedish, you will obviously get much more if you search using English words. A warning though, the search tool is not desperately advanced, and you have to be prepared to go through an awful lot of seemingly rather irrelevant photographs before you find the little pearl that you're after. So that sometimes if you search for very general things, you get millions and millions of photos. So it can take a little bit of time, but other times you get what you want almost immediately. Now, one little restriction on this, and I hope they're working on it, is that when you search here, you then have to choose down here which sort of repository you want to search in. So be careful that you click on the right one. If you're looking for photos, I would recommend clicking on Flickr, because Flickr has millions of Creative Commons photographs. There are others, Google Images, of course, and there you'll get Google images that have Creative Commons licenses. Wikimedia Commons is the place for all the graphics and photos that are used on Wikipedia and other related websites, and they all have Creative Commons licenses. But there are others like Pixabay and Europeana and so on. But I would say Flickr 9 times out of 10 is the place to go. Also have a look at Jamendo and SoundCloud, because there you'll find music, and if you're going to have a soundtrack to a film and you want to do the right thing, don't use the latest hit records. You can actually get thrown off YouTube for using them, and they're pretty fast at finding it. Use some Creative Commons music. So there's plenty of it there. There's open clip art, and there's various other media resources. So have a look around at some of these sources, because there's a lot of good stuff there. Okay, so we're going to search. You can search just basically in the search query square here, or you can refine your search. You can say, I want something that I can use for commercial purposes, or I want only things that I can modify, adapt, or build upon. If you tick this box, you'll only get photos, say, that you can actually use Photoshop or you can do things with. But if you don't do this, you'll get all Creative Commons material. Some of it you can adapt and modify, but some of it you can't, and you'll have to look at the license to decide. However, we'll leave that out at the moment. We'll just search for something. So, what are we going to search for? Let's take learning. Fairly obvious thing, so we'll hit the return button. And I searched for the wrong source. That was rather clever. I go for Flickr instead. And here we are. Now we find an awful lot of photos of learning. And you choose something that looks quite nice. So let's have a look at Well, here's one I've used before on a blog post, Learning to Fly. Now we get the photograph. Here we can see that it is Creative Commons, it's attribution and non-commercial, and some rights reserved. That's the link that takes you to the actual license. And here we can see the person or the alias of the person who took the photograph. So how do we use it? What I do is go to this button here, click that, and here you can download different sizes of photo. I generally go to view all sizes. Here I get the photo, here's the license, or here's the text that should accompany the photograph. This is what should be underneath the photograph. Then you can download which size. A little bit of advice. If you're going to put it on a web page, that's one thing, but if you're going to use it in a PowerPoint, don't use the big ones, because if you use the big ones, they take up an awful lot of megabytes, and soon you'll find that your PowerPoint is about 50 megabytes heavy, and you can't mail it, and you can't upload it to Adobe Connect and things like that. So I often, for a blog post or for in a presentation, I'll go for small or medium. Let's take medium. We go down to that. So there we have it. There's the medium one. I can download the medium size and then copy it into my PowerPoint or whatever I'm using. When I do that, then I will copy, wait a minute, I'll just copy this with the link to the license, the link to the person who took the photograph, and put that underneath the photograph. These symbols as well can be rather useful. You don't have to write the symbols because there are sort of little short forms. So if you can't copy the symbols, I would normally just write CC, then by for the attribution part, and NC for non-commercial. So I would write CC by NC, some rights reserved, with the link to the license. If you click on this, you go to the actual, there's the license, people can read what is what. And then by the person who did it. Sometimes I might even add on Flickr, and then a link to this page on Flickr, this particular link, so that people can actually go to the original photograph. This psychedelia person, if you click that, you'll go to their portfolio on Flickr. You'll see all the photographs. And you might not find this one because he's maybe got 10,000 photographs in his portfolio. So that's one way. Another nice tool to help you for a blog, for example, if you want to put this onto a website or a blog, there are shortcuts. There's a nice tool called Image Coder, imagecoder.org. Dead simple. What you do here is, if you found a photograph and you've got the right size that you want, then you copy the link to the actual photograph, go to Image Coder, put it in here, submit. Here it tells you what you can do with this image, and here's what it looks like. And you see at the bottom here, this is the nice Creative Commons attribution. And if we go to this bit here, you just copy all this HTML stuff that we don't understand. You go to your blog. Here's my blog. I'll go to the HTML. Go to the HTML editor in your blog and just stick that in like that. When we go to the composition page, wait a minute. It should have the. I think I didn't get the whole thing. Wait a minute. Live this, so I've got to. Let's see, did I get the right thing? It should it should give you, yeah, there we have it. So here you have the license by, and the license is clickable to go straight to the to the license conditions, and here's a link to the person. And I could add here on Flickr and just paste in this link as the link. So that's one way on your blog, very simple, and then you write your text. And you can use this and put it on the right of your photo or on the left or whatever. But we'll just remove it for now because I'm not going to write this blog post anyway. Not at the moment. Okay, so that's how to do it, really. As I said, if you want to look at if you want to go for something else, you can maybe see what music there is with the title learning. And here you find there's quite a lot of music, mostly by somebody called Susan Schwartz. And it's Latin and children's music. And you can download it, and you can play it, and you can paste it in, and you'll find the you'll find that all of us, there's a lot of tracks here, there's information, and here's the license that you, if you want to use this lady's music, any of it, you can copy, distribute, advertise, and play this album as long as you give credit to the artist and don't alter, transform, or build upon this album. You're not allowed to change it. Otherwise, do what you like. So rather useful, I would say. Okay, that's all for now. Good luck.